Okay, we will go on to introduce each part of the ventilator. This one is the main unit of the ventilator. This one is the humidifier, the trolley, and the air compressor. This one is the pressure gauge of the air compressor. And this one is the gas outlet for the air compressor. This one is the timer for the air compressor. This one is the switch for the air compressor. And this one is the power cable for the air compressor. Switch, power cable, fans, battery, and gas supply for air and oxygen. The pressure for the gas supply is between 280 to 600 kPa, but for the safety consideration, we suggest the gas supply pressure is between 315 to 500 kPa. Okay. Nebulizer, oxygen sensor, inspiration port, and expiration port. Switch for the humidifier, and this one is to adjust the temperature. Pay attention, we need to put the distilled water firstly, and then we can connect the cable and adjust the temperature. And there is a minimum and maximum level for the distilled water. After installate all the circuit, we can use the machine. Firstly, we need to turn on the machine. The switch is in the behind. After we connecting the tube, we can use the machine to the patient. Firstly, we need to turn on the machine. The switch is in the behind. And then there's an instruction to ask you if you want to start the test. We accept, and we can enter the interface of the previous test. Also, if you miss this part, we can also enter the test in the standby interface. There is a device secret test. It's the same. And about the test, there's two kinds of tests. One is the device test to make sure the machine, the ventilator, there's no problem. And the other is the patient secret test to make sure if there's no leakage of the tube. Firstly, we will do the device test. We can see there's an instruction to tell you, please connect the test tube and the gas supply. It means you need to firstly make sure the gas supply pressure is between 218 to 600. But for the safety, we suggest the pressure of the gas supply should be between 315 to 500 kPa. And then we need to use one tube to solder the inspiration hole and expiration hole. Then we can confirm. To do the test, we can use the solder tube to connect the inspiration and expiration part. Connect the tube like this and then confirm. It will be done automatically. And because right now in the office we don't have the oxygen, so we have skipped the oxygen sensor test. But it's important to the doctor to do the oxygen sensor test. When the hospital connect the oxygen gas supply, the oxygen sensor test also will be done automatically in the device test. And about the battery test, it will ask you to disconnect AC power supply. It means you need to disconnect the main unit AC power cable. disconnect, and then wait some seconds, it will ask you to please connect AC power supply. And it will pass this test. About the secret test, also we need to confirm firstly and then read the instruction. It means please connect the patient secret and block the white piece. It means you need to connect the tube as the normal use and then use your hand to hold the white piece. Use our hand to hold the white piece and then press confirm. Also, it will be done automatically. Okay, now we have passed all the tests. We can see the green mark, it means pass. The red mark, it means fail. And this one, it means skip. After we finish the test, it means right now the machine, there's no problem. And you can use the machine safety to the patient. We can exit. Then we use the airbag to act the patient. Connect to the white piece. And then connect it to the support arm. After we checking the test, it means the machine can use to the patient without problem. And we can see the standby interface. There is a patient. In the patient page, we can choose the patient information. For example, we change it to a new patient. And then we can, according to the patient information, to select if it's an adult, pediatric, or neonate, and if it's a male or female. Then we can, according to the patient, to set the height of the patient. To set this parameter, first we need to select this parameter and then use the knob to change the parameter. Then don't forget to click to confirm. And then the machine will, according to the information, to give the doctor a PBW. Then the doctor need to choose if the operation is invasive or non-invasive. Then confirm. And the machine will, according to the information of the patient, to give a suggest parameter. But pay attention, this parameter can't use to the patient directly. The doctor needs to, according to the patient situation, to adjust once again. And we can see the interface. This part is the model of the ventilation we have chosen. And this part is the alarm part. There is 3 types of the alarm. And this one is the information of the patient. This one is the invasive and the date and the time. Then after setting this one, after setting the patient, we can go on with setting the model of the ventilation. To set, we need to select models. Then we can see our R55 can select almost all of the model of the ventilation like VCV, PCV, PRVC, SMV, VSCPAP. For example, we select PCV. Then the interface will come to the setting parameter. To set the setting parameter, firstly, we need to choose which parameter we need to set, and then use the knob to adjust. Also, don't forget to click to confirm after resetting, then accept. After resetting the setting parameter, then we will go on to set the alarm. In the alarm, we can see there is a maximum and minimum alarm setting. This one is also according to the patient situation the doctor needs to set every time. And to set this parameter also, first select and then use the knob to change, then confirm. And also in the set alarm, there's an alarm log. The machine will record 100 events of the alarm. After resetting all the models, the setting parameters, the alarm information, then we can work the machine to press work. Then the machine will working normally. And we can see this page is the monitoring parameter. And if the doctor wants to see the fully monitoring parameter, we can see in the monitoring. There is the completely monitoring parameter. Then we will go on to see the trend. The machine will record maximum 72 hours of the trend. The doctor can see by this way, and then select the parameter. Use the knob also. There is the trend graph and trend table. In the information page, there you can see the software region, the runtime, barometric pressure, the oxygenal function, the temperature, also the gas supply pressure. Remember, the gas supply pressure will recommend the pressure between 315 to 500 kPa to make the machine working safety. In the setting page, you can set if you want to turn on the oxygen or no. Also, you want to turn on the CO2, the SpO2, but this too is the optional function. And in this one is the load of the alarm. This one you can change the language. And this one is the unit of like CO2, like pressure. And if there's an alarm, we can use the alarm silence button to make the alarm silence 2 minutes. And after the alarm disappeared, the machine also will tell you before there's an alarm, and it will show you in the screen. Then at that time, we can reset the alarm by the alarm reset. And in the tools, there is the inspiration hold, expiration hold, and nebulizer. The inspiration hold, it means when we touch this one, the machine will all the time do the inspiration without expiration. And also about the expiration hold is similar. All the time the machine will do the expiration without inspiration. Maximum also 10 seconds. And the nebulizer is to start the nebulizer function. You can also change the time of the nebulizer by the knob. Don't forget to confirm and then start. In the oxygen, 100% oxygen, this function is used before the suction. It means the machine will give the patient some percent of the oxygen, some high percent of the oxygen to make sure the patient safety before the suction. Just select the percent of the oxygen and then start. About the manual inspiration, It means the doctor can control the ventilator to give the patient one-time breath. We can see. The pink waveform, it means this breath is controlled by doctor. And standby button is to make the machine to be standby. Just accept. And then we will go on to introduce the calibration part. To calibrate the ventilator, we can enter in the system and then calibration. But remember, the calibration only can enter in the standby model. It means when the machine is working, you can't enter the calibration. Only in standby we can enter the calibration. And the first one is the service models. This one is for the engineer. And then the pressure sensor calibration and the flow sensor calibration. These two calibration is used when the waveform 0 is abnormal of the pressure and the flow. If it's abnormal, we need to do the pressure sensor calibration and the flow sensor calibration. To do this calibration, firstly, we need to take off the tubes and make sure there's no flow direct to the sensors. And then we click the pressure sensor calibration. It will be done by itself. Also, it's similar. Click flow sensor calibration. Also, it will be done by itself. And about the oxygen sensor calibration, this calibration is only used, for example, when the doctor changes the oxygen sensor, or when the FiO2 is abnormal, or the first time use the ventilator, we need to do the oxygen sensor calibration. It's similar. Also, only click the oxygen sensor calibration, then it will be done automatically. About the touch screen calibration, we only use this calibration when the touch screen is working abnormal. To do this calibration, we only touch the touch screen calibration and then do the calibration as the instruction. Pay attention, when we do the touch screen calibration, you'd better use touch pen. But if you don't have, you also can use the normal pen, but without the sharp part.